Hello everybody, this is Pyra, and just this morning was Letter from the Producer Live, PLL number 87, and there was a lot of information that came out in this live letter. The first half was talking about the cosmic exploration and occult crescent feedback. Now there was a lot of kind of like questions and answers that they picked, and I'm not going to get into that in this video. We are going to do kind of a deep dive into the content with some thoughts, but we're going to save that for another video. We're really going to get into the guts of 7.3 and what's to come next. So for the second half of the live letter, we got into patch 7.3, and the name of 7.3 is going to be The Promise of Tomorrow. So we got to see this kind of neat, I would say it looks concept art type banner. Looks a little bit more rustic, and I like it though. It's kind of neat. So, of course, we have some of our well-known favorites: Warrior of Light, Aaronville, Wook Lamat or Lamati. We have Sphene. We have the Galulja. This is where I'm bad with names. I shouldn't even be pulling out names when I'm not good at these. But this is our first look at The Promise of Tomorrow. Now, as far as when this is coming out, what's going on, this patch is most likely going to be August 5th. That's what kind of everybody is speculating right now. But Yoshi P did confirm early August is when this is really going to be earmarked for. And of course it shows it here as well, releasing early August 2025. August 5th is probably the date that's going to happen, so maybe put like a soft save the date in your calendars if you are looking forward to it. They did get into some screenshots of main scenario quests. Of course, with every major patch, we will be getting main scenario quests, and this will be the continuation with Sphene and Kryl and all the things that are going on in Solution 9 and beyond. So we got to see some cool screenshots. It looks like Aaronville's going to be kind of back. Looks very interesting with whatever the heck is going on with their regulators here. I don't know. So a lot of speculation. I guess Yoshi P chuckled about some Gundam reference. So I don't know much of that. Also, I should have mentioned this from the get-go. I am reading off of the Final Fantasy XIV Reddit, Discord translations and live letters channel. Go follow them. Join their Discord. The community over there really does the best job at just getting accurate live translations while these Japanese spoken only PLLs or any kind of like news conferences and such happen. So definitely a huge shout out to them, because this is just the most helpful source, especially if you're not a Japanese speaker like myself. And going back into MSQ things, of course, this little creepy guy's back. So a lot of MSQ kind of teasers and spoilers. Next up for things that we are getting is a new Allied Society quest, the Yakui. Of course, this should be our final Allied Society, and this should be covering the crafters. We haven't seen a crafting one yet, and the outfit though. I mean, maybe it's just to show off the dye, like the metallic dye, but that's a choice. That's a bold statement, but we'll accept him for that. And then we got a little bit more taste of what's going on. This is like kind of like a rock and magic mech. I don't know what's going on here. I am very curious, because unlike other mech suits, you know, this is like anti-robotic, but it looks like a mech suit, so definitely something going on there. This little snow bunny looking thing is also part of the Allied Society quest. I need both of these designs as a minion. Also, I remember seeing people in chat talking about the frozen poop right here, so the frozen poop staff, as well as this cute little snow bunny. The minion, you will see, Yoshi P said. So yeah, yep. And then also, I guess Yoshi P up here, you think this is the mount? You will see. So, probably confirming it. Always being Yoshi P, always being like, please look forward to it. Not confirming anything. So, we will see, I guess, like he says. And then, of course, we're going to be going up into the snowy mountain area. And this is kind of what the area will look like. So I'm actually digging this because I do love the juxtaposition in Dawn Trail between the very tech and kind of like cyberpunk, and then also like this very like earthy, like natural kind of environments. And so I'm glad that we're getting some more of the natural environments too, because it's a nice balance. It's nice having both in this expansion. Next up on what's coming in 7.3, inconceivably further Hildebrand adventures. So we have Nashu here with an egg, and that egg is looking shiny and potentially dangerous. So, of course, we'll see more Hildebrand. I know I didn't get to catch up yet, so I still have to catch up to see where the story's going. Hildebrand things on the horizon. Who can be mad at that? Not me. So, wherever Hildebrand is, there will be jokes. So, good to know. Next up on the agenda is new dungeon. So, this is more than likely going to be part of the main scenario, or kind of like adjacent to the main scenario, and this is going to be called the Meso Terminal. So this is definitely giving like living memory vibes between the colors and kind of some of the techie stuff. Of course, after doing so much Arcadian, this looks like wrestling ring ropes, but I could see it going up here. It's not. So, but this will be our new dungeon. We got some more clips of the dungeon. So very interesting. Looks like these are kind of like hospital bed situations. Ooh, spoopy. Kind of spookier outside. Looks kind of like that Alexandria-esque. This looks like a bar. So probably something to do with the main scenario as well. And next up on the agenda too. Oh, and then they did confirm, yes, it was part of the MSQ. And then next up, speaking of part of the MSQ, new trial. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Normal and extreme. So this is definitely adjacent or part of the living memory situation, but we'll have to see what it is. It looks like he doesn't want to talk about the trial at all. So no more info until it's released. So not even like, you know, if you're looking forward to part 2, I can't show this one in part 2 either. So definitely major spoiler heavy trial on the horizon. Please look forward to it. And then, of course, our next up thing in 7.3, of course, you probably guessed it by looking at this. We're going to Disney World! Vanadil. Yeah. Almost the same thing, right? It kind of looks like Disney World. Echoes of Vanadil Part 2, Sandaria, the Second Walk. So we will be getting the next installment in the current Alliance Raid series. Of course, just like last time, it's Final Fantasy XI related. That's going to be the entire Alliance Raid series for Dawn Trail. And I guess Yoshi P had this weird issue where the background music was bugged, but it only happened to him, no one else. So hopefully it's fixed. I'm assuming it's fixed by now, but he definitely wanted to throw that out there. Of course, some more screenshots of Vanadil. I know myself, I am not an 11 player. I've never played 11. However, it is cool to see some of these things, even if I'm not aware of the references. And this is one of them, like this Northern Lights-esque picturesque screenshot is really beautiful. I'm curious to see what that is part of. And then, of course, we're going to be getting a continuation with the story as well with the new Vanadil Part 2. Next up, Unreal. The next Unreal is going to be none other than Sirio, the Wreath of Snakes. This is bringing me back down memory lane. Every installment of the Unreal, I just think about all the trauma that I went through when the content was relevant. So if you're looking forward to Unreals, please look forward to the Snake Boy himself. This is going to be level 100 Sirio. So this is also the last of the Stormblood series. So after this, we're making our way down to Shadowbringers. So please look forward to that. One of the next up things, probably one of my most excited things, is new treasure dungeon. This is going to be called the Vault Oniran? I am terrible at pronunciation. The Vault Oniran. So this, from everything it looked like and I saw, it looks like this is going to be a new take on treasure dungeons as we know it. So Yoshi P did confirm we do have some new mini games in treasure dungeons. Maybe it's raps, maybe it's a DJ, we don't know. So very different than what we're used to. We're definitely leaning heavy into the Solution 9 techie, cyberpunky kind of landscape and enemies. And look at the Mandragora. I was watching Mr. Happy's live stream earlier where he was going over the live letter, and I think somebody called him like Daft Punk Mandragora or something like that, which is just, it's perfect. So I'm excited for these. I love doing maps for both just the fun of it as well as reaping the rewards, and it looks like they're trying something different. We were expecting just the kind of spin the wheel gamba system, and I'm wondering if this is going to be far different or just a little different. Either way, I can't be more excited for it. Next up, for just other things that are coming down the road, duty support is going to be added for Cutter's Cry. So if you ever wanted to go back through Cutter's Cry, or maybe you're a new player, you can play with the trust system, so the duty support system. We're also getting a PvP update, so PvP Series 9 will begin. The PvP actions will have some adjustments for some of them, and new Crystalline Conflict Arena will be added, and they showed us the screenshots. We're going to Tyrol, friends, so this is going to be the Bayside Battleground, and honestly, I love how this looks. It feels very much like TheRelaxedMovement. It feels very much up to date with Dawntrail's standards. It's got a lot going on for it, so I'm excited to see how this one works for CC, and it looks pretty cool. Definitely looks really cool. Yoshi P is also saying we will allow duo queues in casual, so that is new. That is like a systemic change as well. They had a lot of feedback that players were scared of going alone, and so now you can go up with a buddy, which I think is fun. I know my friends and I, we would try to just like queue snipe each other and get into the same instance at the same time, but that's only so reliable, and it's good to see that they're at least letting you kind of like go in with a friend and give it a shot, because PvP is pretty fun, but you know, it can get overwhelming, especially if you're new to the game, new to PvPs in general, so please look forward to that. With the PvP changes as well, new Crystalline Conflict tiers have been added. So this is the current system as we know it, and they are adding in Omega and Ultimate levels. So if you are somebody who goes really hard in the paint for Crystalline Conflict, you're going to have to go even harder in the paint, because there are more tiers. So more places to get good, as they say. The next thing on the horizon is Cosmic Exploration update. So Cosmic Exploration, we knew that content wasn't going to be a one-and-done style content. Now it says, thanks to the efforts of industrious adventurers, completion of the Moongate Hub is close at hand. The Cosmic Exploration Initiative is ready to take its first hop into the wider cosmos. So, we're on our way to a new star. That's the TLDR. We're going to a new star, and it says, the Star of Glass Fena. And this is some screenshots from what's to come with the new star. It looks so cool. Like, even look at just like the pinks and the colors. I'm so excited. So our Loperate friends are bringing us over to a new star. We gotta start working on a new star, and this is some of the vibes. So very kind of like moon, like it kind of gives moon vibes, but not. I don't know how to describe it, but it is pretty cool. I do love this like kind of tie-dye, almost iridescent type of like not sheen, but like the colors look all melted together. This is actually really cool, like lamp situation here. It looks outer worldly, so a lot of Star Wars and Trek comments, I guess, in the chat, which makes sense. It very much looks outer worldly. And here it says exploration and survey of a new star begins. Further enhancement to cosmic tools will happen, new rewards, of course, and the Star Wars Standing Stella, as well as the Star Contributor status and effect, will also be available on Fana. So they're going to take all of what you love and do on the current zone and just move it over to the zone as well. And Yoshipi also mentioned here the holograms will be available from the start, so that was one of the things from that Q&A from the first half of the live letter. So they're going to be making those available for the start, and they will also continue to listen to feedback to try to get a great experience for the players. So it does look like they are taking feedback as critically as possible to try to make the content as good as possible for everyone involved. And now, moving out of the cosmos, moving to our buddy here. I love how they even said, just seeing this guy on a screenshot will tell everyone everything. So, relic weapons, of course. Geralt, that's all you get from him. So weapon enhancement quest, phantom weapons are going to have their next portion into that. And then Yoshi P said, I did think about the screenshot, but all Warrior of Lights know what meeting Geralt means. So, yeah, we've seen him for years. And of course, Warrior of Light. I feel like this is sometimes seeing Geralt. I have such a love-hate relationship with relic weapons. Like, sometimes it's like, yeah, this is great. Other times it's like, oh god, this is a lot. But it's all right. It's part of the grind, you know? Like, I have a love-hate relationship with grindy content in general. So, honestly, this face is a mood. But I truly think that they did a much better job this expansion than the previous one. Having a challenge, having something fun to do to get your relic, just makes way more sense to me than just tomes or tomestones. So glad that they changed up the system for this expansion. And next up on the agenda, my friends, one of my funnest things to do in the game, especially with friends, it is new deep dungeon. So we are getting a new deep dungeon, and it's going to be called the Pilgrim's Traverse. So this one, we will show, these are some screenshots that they kind of put together. Some of the weapons that are going to be coming out, which is super exciting. And there might be players not familiar with Deep Dungeon. So what is it? So just a recap. If you don't know what a Deep Dungeon is, it's a dungeon whose architecture changes each time players enter to explore. Players begin at designated levels for each Deep Dungeon and gain experience as they progress towards the deepest floor. Deep Dungeon specific arms and gear are enhanced via gameplay. Entry is available for groups of 1 to 4 with no role restrictions. Difficulty unaffected by party size. And it can be used for leveling, which is great because I was missing that with the Occult Crescent, so I'm so glad that they're bringing that back to here. Access via NPC rather than the Duty Finder, and detail rules can be found in the play guide. I know one of the other biggest things too is you can, typically with all the other deep dungeons, you can only have two like save slots available. So if you start with a party of 3 of your other friends, so 4 of you total, and you start doing it, and then you're like, okay, after this section of deep dungeons we want to go on, but we're going to do that another day, and then you want to go back in with another group of friends, that'll take up a second slot. So then if you wanted to do a third slot either by yourself or with a different comp, you would have to then reset that slot. So there are a bunch of little nuances to Deep Dungeon, but there are usually a lot of good rewards that you can get out of it, and it is definitely challenging, time-consuming content. And Yoshi B said, so what kind of Deep Dungeon is it this time? And look at the little guy. So this was one of the most exciting things that I saw. This already drew me in. Just looking at the glasswork, like the stained glasswork, I was like, is this gonna be Gridania? Is this gonna be like Ilmeg? And of course, yes, it's gonna be Ilmeg. Kind of Ilmeg. I don't know if it's, I think it's gonna be Ilmeg adjacent. I don't know. I think it is in Ilmeg. There's an outside Yoshi B said. Ooh, because we don't usually have deep dungeons outside. And I cannot be more excited for this because Ilmeg was one of my favorite zones in Shadowbringers. And, yeah, it is very, very exciting to see. An overview of the Pilgrim's Traverse as well. Players must first complete the main scenario quest Endwalker and progress to floor 50 of the Palace of the Dead. And of course, Palace of the Dead is the first of the deep dungeons that you can find in the Realm Reborn zones. Must be level 91 or above to enter, so if you want to level your classes, you can only do that for 91 and above. And of course, you access this by speaking with an NPC in Ilmeg. So very exciting. I'm glad we have a reason to go back to Ilmeg. It's such a gorgeous map. And Yoshi P also said we have a new feature this time. He's going to talk about this more in an upcoming PLL. However, there's going to be a bonus duty after completion. Brand new to Deep Dungeons as we know it. A harder version of the floor 99 boss battle will be accessible from the dungeon entrance NPC. Can be challenged at level 100 with a party of 4. And so I saw that some people were speculating that this kind of like was a spin on the Criterion and variant dungeons just brought over to Palace of the Dead, or I should say Pilgrim's Traverse. And I'm excited for this. It also seems like it's a cool optional thing instead of like, no, sucker, you're going back in for one more. So it is pretty cool seeing that they are adding this new type of thing in. More hard content. Well, this one only unlocks after you've completed the normal floor 99 boss. And the only amount that they wanted to show was this, a secret. It's as much as they wanted to show. Now, of course, that if you haven't played Shadowbringers, then this is a spoiler. But if you're caught up, this is a Sin Eater. So I think somebody mentioned that the Sin Eater was possibly the one, I believe I heard it in Mr. Happy stream, the one from like one of the maybe the Paladin quest line? Don't quote me on that. But it is definitely a Sin Eater, and the rest is secret. So I am so excited to see what that's going to entail. Shadowbringers is my favorite expansion to date. So anything Shadowbringers is going to make me hyped and excited. So very, very excited for this secret. And so now Yoshi P wanted to move from this point, from content into system updates. One of the things that they wanted to mention first is about Ultimate. So they did confirm here that there will be no Ultimate in 7.3. However, there will be another one coming in Dawntrail. It is speculated, at least in the Reddit group, it is speculated that it'll be 7.5. However, that has not been confirmed nor denied. I personally am okay with them delaying it. I'm also going back into older Ultimates. I still haven't completed Fru yet. Another thing too is I would always rather them, especially content like that is like very, very endgame and harder and like usually needs a lot more finesse and like the choreographing of the fight. I would much rather them take a little bit more time and make a really solid Ultimate than rush it out and have like a sloppy Ultimate. So not gonna happen. However, we will get another one before Dawntrail's end. And then something that people have been asking about for forever since they announced it was the chat bubbles feature. And this is where Yoshi P decided to jabait us with, oh look, here it is. And all of a sudden, what pow, under active development. So thanks, Yoshi P. He pretty much said that they're done with it. They're just not done with the implementation yet. So it's, I don't know if it, like, because they mentioned it, it's like, maybe it'll be out 7.3? Question mark. I don't know if they just are saying it to give people an update, if they're hinting maybe it'll come out if things go well, but they are saying that it'll be possible to select which chat modes show up as bubbles, like only party chat or only shout chat. They're still discussing this last feature and how it will feel in the world of Eorzea. I definitely think it could get chaotic, especially when you get into patch or like expansion launch days, especially if you get into bigger, more active zones like Limsa Laminza. Like, does your game crash because there's too many chat bubbles? So I definitely am in favor of this kind of like super selective system. And some extra things that they put here as well. The feature is going to be optional and you can disable it by default. So this is not a permanent, like, you must have to do this kind of thing. You will have the option to get rid of it. Text will continue to display in the chat log as normal, so you don't have to worry about missing a bubble. It will still end up in the chat log like it normally is. It can be set to on and off according to the chat mode. And chat bubble and font color can also be set according to chat mode. So it looks like they are trying to make this a bit more customizable. Definitely competing with a lot of third-party tools that folks use and just other MMOs in general. But yeah. It is something that they're actively working on right now. They do understand it only affects a player's personal environment. You can see different background colors in the screenshots. Certain things might be difficult, like even colors, but it sounds like they're going to, even after launching, they will continue to improve or change it based on the feedback. And it says also that the screenshot, so the text bubbles will only show up to one line of text. So if you want to read a message that is multi-lines of text, you will still have to check your chat window. So, sounds like they are actively working on that, but we will see. We'll just have to see if it comes in 7.3. And then, little thing at the end. What if a body on the floor has a bubble showing up? Healer LB! And then, Foxconn. That will turn into me for sure. So, A couple other things here with the chat bubbles. Can be disabled during battle and PvP, which I think is also amazing. Can be set to display 1 line or 2 lines of text, so they kind of corrected the translation right here. And then text will be truncated upon reaching a certain word count, which is great because some people spam. So good to see those changes. And yeah, we were gonna get another feature update here, which is oh my god, I want to flip my desk. As soon as I saw this, I started freaking out. Expanded headgear support for Hrothgar and Vieira. So I've been a Vieira since the day that Shadowbringers launched. I literally had my Fantasia prepped, logged into Shadowbringers, Fantasia'd from Mikote to Vieira, and I never looked back. And I've been waiting for this edition for years. This will not be for everything. However, it is an expanded support for headgear. So various headgear will now be displayed on Hrothgar and Vieira characters, and further support will be added in future updates. So maybe this is the resolution. Maybe the light is at the end of the tunnel. And they showed us some screenshots. So this is some Hrothgars. We can actually hopefully wear this hat. Oh my gosh. Some of these hats that you get with your gear or the Mog Station. And then this is Vieira. I'm so happy. I'm like, ugh. It's such a small thing, but at the same time it's not. Especially the amount of hats that they've implemented in the game post launch of Vieira, and they still don't work on Vieira has been so frustrating. And then one other big option that's going to happen too is there's going to be option to hide Vieira ears. So you can choose whether or not to display ears on certain headgear. There will be an added on-off subcommand, kind of like a toggle for your ears. And the display setting will be saved to the register gear set equipped at the time. So, Yoshi P said, please think of this feature as hiding Vieira ears by folding them. So, I don't want to think about that, but now I definitely have. And then, of course, 6 years I'm actually gonna continue this on because bloody hell, I feel that pain. This is one example of the ears being the ears being toggled off. I'm so excited. I'm stumbling over my words. And it's not bad, honestly. I really don't hate it. You still have a lot of the you're missing the ears. I would be this person probably keeping the ears, but it gives an option. So if this looks weird, if the clipping is just kind of odd, you can just toggle them off. So I am very happy that they came up with some resolution. Something, if nothing else. And Yoshi B said, well, if you say they take up more space when folded, you're not wrong, but it is what it is. So, like, we're giving you fucking heads. Don't ask for too much more. We're at least giving hats finally. So one of the things that kind of, I think, went hand in hand with some of the headgear issues was hairs and wearing certain headpieces when you had bangs. The bangs, like here, would just go away. There are no bangs. It's just the hat or the helmet or the hood. And now they made it. They're making it so that you can still see your bangs. So that's very exciting. It's a little bit. But, yeah, like, even, Foxconn said, it looks like different people. It kind of does. Like, it's 2 different vibes, so that's also highly exciting that they're adding that into the game. One of the other things that they're adding into the game, too, with patch 7.3 is the whiteboard feature. So we've talked about this for a bit. This is actually, I lied. It's going to be patch 7.4 or later. Under development again. But we were getting one step closer to it, so people use third-party platforms to kind of come up with the whiteboards like this for, like, mapping out strats and mapping out locations for, like, savage raiding or doing the extreme trials. And now it looks like you can do a lot of these things in-game. The features for the whiteboard we're discussing, option to highlight jobs including your own for your own positioning, since not everyone will be a whiteboard marker. Obviously, we needed a feature to be able to share them. So there will be many good ones, but eventually most players will agree to one that will be used. And one of the cool things about this as well is that you can have it up on like your screen. So you can have it up on your screen when you're doing things, which is great because people are already doing that in other ways with websites and multi-screen monitors and stuff like that. But it's exciting to see that we're going to have like an in-game feature for that where we don't have to go off into other websites and whatnot. Functions under consideration for the whiteboard feature: functionality to display the board where desired, including during battle. Option to highlight specified jobs. Ability to set up multiple schemes for a single duty. An option to share with others. This is going to be potentially a game changer, honestly. I don't know how it'll work because it's coming out so much later than what people have figured out what to do on their own. However, it's going to be a really great option, and people don't have to worry about different websites. It'll hopefully be a one-stop shop solution. We will have to see. And so that was it for the PLL features. Really, that was it for all the big things that are to come, and then they just had a handful of announcements. Now, the first announcement that they had is Final Fantasy XIV Summer Festival of Light in Shibuya Sakura Stage in Japan. So, the Shibuya Sakura Stage complex in Tokyo will be celebrating its 1-year anniversary this July, and Final Fantasy XIV will be joining in the celebration. There's going to be interactive live mystery events taking place at the venue, a photo spot of FF14-inspired cuisine at a pop-up Eorzea cafe, in addition to the grilled dining and music bar stereo found on the 38th floor of the complex. So if you're in Japan between July 12th through the 15th, go check it out. It's a cool event that will feature some 14 things that you may not otherwise be able to see. In some of the little things from the event, I believe these are cookies, and oh my god, they're so adorable. It is so cute. We got the Great Serpent, we got a Moogle. And Yoshi P said, "Didn't you guys watch the broadcast where I baked cookies? Making them round was a challenge already." I wasn't sure if we would even go since this is an anime expo, but I'm very grateful we got invited. So they were able to do that, and then of course Anime Expo is the next big thing that they are coming to. Next announcement here is the Alphino and Alisaie Silver Ear Cuff. So this is a replica of Alphino and Alisaie's silver ear cuff adorned with white chalcedony natural stone, brought to you by Japanese custom-made jewelry company Kei Uno. Now this is going to release on March 2026 or later, which is approximate to change, and it is going to be for a North America and Europe release timeline at least. This is insane. It is definitely exactly what it says. But the price is wild. The price is like $400 for this one ear cuff, which I'm like, dude, it looked good. I don't know how good that looked. And I'm all for quality, but $400 for a singular ear cuff, I think I'll pass on this. But I wouldn't doubt if they're all gone by now. Of course, Yoshi P is adorning the ear cuff there. Which he says, what would you need a 52-year-old Oji-san like me for? And that face is just so great. The designer is a warrior of light as well, which is kind of cool. It is really cool to see these collabs and having people who play the game. I know Magic the Gathering was like that recently, where some of the devs on the Magic the Gathering were Final Fantasy fans, and so it was really cool seeing that as well. And yeah, just another piece of bling for your arsenal if you have $400 to drop. New merchandise is on its way as well for the Squeenix store. We have a canvas board with kind of some chibi scions, and then we have some scions and monster sticker set, and the monsters here, this is specifically Sugar Riot, and a Domin Mahjong t-shirt. So some new things coming in. He showed them off here. This is freaking cute as hell. My birthday's in August. If anybody wants to give me some cute thing, just say no. Okay, never mind. And then these really cute stickers here with the same kind of art style. And then the Sugar Riot ones are holographic, so kind of glittery, which are just so cute. I love it. And then 13 Orphans, which I don't know Dom and Mahjong at all, so like this is so confusing for me. But if you do, it is there. Square Enix is also going to be having a pop-up store in Osaka in Tokyo. It's going to be in Osaka from July 2nd to September 7th, and in Tokyo from July 25th to August 11th. So if you're in the area, check out the pop-up store. You can get some pre-release merch right there. And then, of course, this is still happening. This Logos outing camping equipment is still happening, so they just kind of shouted this out again. Overseas release, North America, it's looking like September of this year, and for Europe, November of this year. So if you like some outdoor goods and you want them to be Final Fantasy XIV related, here is the place to do so. Another new thing as well is that Chronicles of Light Volume 2 will be available for pre-order. So this is available for pre-order now, and it's going to feature 30 stories, including those from Tales of the Shadows, Tales from the Twilight, Tales from the Dawn, and Tales Under the Moon, as well as 4 brand new stories. I haven't checked these out yet, but I'm very curious, especially after seeing this right here, this very Endwalker cover art. I'm down to figure this out. I'm down to definitely try this. The release date for digital global is going to be October 7th, and physical in English will be December 16th, so pre-order now, especially if you want a nice Christmas gift for a physical version. If you need to look a little bit early onto the holidays, now might be the time. And 10% off custom orders photo book Memories of Light. There's a 10% off campaign underway in Japan. I don't know anything about this, but it's something. So if you're a Japanese player and you like photo books, there's a discount right now. So go check it out. It says players who sent us the photo books, and we always look at them when we have the time. Oh, that's so precious. That is honestly so precious. If you are also in Japan, they're hiring for staff, so they're looking for battle content designers, scenario designers, graphic engineer, and web planner. So if you're in Japan, look it up, maybe apply. You might get a really cool career opportunity. So that is a thing. The next up for announcements, the whole tour is sold out. So all of these Primal tour dates are completely sold out. So they said sold out, thank you. And there was one person who really wanted to say something about the tour being sold out. So today, this is an emergency recording. And then Yoshi had to be like, no, this is live. So Soken being Soken, of course, always, the clown that he is, comes on and said, I'm in charge of the music for the game, and I play in a band called The Primals. I wanted to apologize for the tour being sold out. So I am recording this today, and I guess Yoshi said, I already told you, this is live. Oh gosh, so they went back and forth a bit. Doop, doop, doop. And then just a big thank you. Just a big thank you that they're able to do what they're doing. And it looks like they're doing another big concert now, which is Dark Decades Tour Budokan. So this is going to be new. So this looks like probably their thank you for selling out their tour. Final Fantasy XIV player exclusive tickets drawing application open until Monday, June 30th at 23:59 Japan Standard Time. A player exclusive ticket drawing for North America and European players will also be held. Further details to be announced on the Lodestone next week. So keep your eye out if you're trying to see the Primals. I'm curious for North American and European players as well. Is it like if you want to go to Japan? I assume that's what that means, but it's good to know. I guess Jason Charles Miller will also be there. He really loves the community. Soken said, not us, but the community. Soken just being Soken. The CD is full of Arcadian songs and will be part of the set list. Right here, which Arcadian songs slap. And some of the Primals merch that they will have, of course, their very popular glow stick here. A nice button-up shirt. We have a couple t-shirts. I think this is a scarf. I don't know what the heck these are. Wallet, mug, bag. So handful of pre-order merchandise. You can get pre-orders until Tuesday, July 22nd. So if you are trying to get pre-orders for that, definitely keep your eyes out. More details to be announced on the Lodestone. And Soken said, I'm very much looking forward to 7.3. So much work in the details. So this is the end. I don't know how this usually goes. Of course, just a bit of banter back and forth. And then, hello, I am a hero from the CBU3, and I am a content designer. I've worked on the MSK and XIV before. Yoshi P, so why are you here? And to announce the Xbox and Microsoft version of Final Fantasy 16. So, of course, another announcement, because many of these folks also worked on Final Fantasy 16. Xbox is now getting it, so it is now available, the complete edition as well as the standard edition. Go get it if you would like to try it on Xbox. And I think that was mostly it, except for now we're talking about this lore book for 16. So there is now a lore book available. This feels very much up the alley of the Encyclopedia Eorzea, but for Final Fantasy 16. So release dates for the Japanese version will be December 16th of this year, and the English version is set to release on March 31st, 2026. So keep your eye out if you are someone who is a good Final Fantasy 16 fan. And one more announcement from Yoshi P, it looks like, after all of these announcements, very announcement heavy PLL, the return to Ivalice. So, following the Crystal Tower and Shadow of Mach, the Return to Ivalice raid was introduced as a third Alliance raid series in patch 4.1. Through this raid, players can experience the reimagined story of Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy XII. And so, boom! Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, now accepting pre-orders for September 30th release. And it's going to include both enhanced and classic version of the game. So if you want to play and have this like smooth remastered version, you can. Or if you want very much the OG, you can do that too. And it looks like it's going to be available on Nintendo Switch 1 and the newest Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5 and 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam. So please look forward to that. And after all of that, that's everything. That is everything for PLL number 87. Let me know, friends, in the comments below, what are you most looking forward to in patch 7.3? I know for me, it's just more everything, as much as that seems like a cop-out answer. I love the MSQ. I'm really ready to get back into it. I'm getting ready to get back into the trials. I think if I had to pick one newer thing that I'm looking forward to most, it's the Deep Dungeon. I really want to see this new Deep Dungeon and what it's going to do, and yeah. I'm excited for it. So thank you so much for watching, friends. If you like Final Fantasy XIV news, updates, reviews, etc., hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to me and it helps out my channel. I stream Final Fantasy XIV and some other games multiple times a week, almost every day of the week. So come hang out on Twitch and YouTube, and we will see you in game. Bye!